Hi there, this is a tribal teacher coming to you again with another story about Spit Out Your Game series. The Spit Out Your Game series is simply a way for me to get you to pay attention to what games are being played on people you may know or people who are in your age group that you need to be aware of. So today's story, we're looking at this is a young man. The game is a con game. The key word is tricked. And the word that we want to focus on is the con game. So we have a young man. His name is Trevor. He lives in the Caribbean island of Trinidad. He's of mixed heritage. He is being raised by his grandmother, and he's very studious. He loves to people watch. He loves the tourists. He likes to see the boats come in and out of the harbor. He likes to see the movement of people who come to the island, and that is how he spends his vacation time. During the school year, he is an avid reader. He reads everything that he can. He's always at the library. He's very, very intelligent. They call him a nerd. You could call him a geek, but he is one of the young men who has a future. And his future is in international relationships. He likes to see people, like to people watch, and the tourists right now is his target group. He just sits there for hours watching them come and go, watching the different things that happen to them when they're on the island of Trinidad. And he is going home in the evenings to his grandmother, who's raising him. Both parents have traveled off the island, and they're living away from Trinidad. And Trevor doesn't miss him that much. He's not that type of kid. He actually loves his grandmother. She loves him too. And he's well taken care of. They send money home, and he's well taken care of. So Trevor is people watching. There comes a boat with some new tourists, and there's a young lady named Tasha. Tasha is a young lady who is privileged. She is intelligent. She's attractive. She travels every year with her parents, and this year was the time for her to land on Trinidad. She was bored, but she knew that if she got off the boat, she would get into some type of activity. Tasha has a secret. She likes to sniff glue. Her parents have no idea that she's doing it, but she sniffs glue because she thinks it takes her to a higher high in her mind. So she's playing a con game with the parents, getting the glue, hiding it, using it when she feels like, and basically her idea is having fun. Trevor does not know Tasha, but Tasha was on her balcony at the hotel when Trevor was watching. He was by doing his people watching, just hanging around by where the hotel crew came in and out. So Tasha spotted Trevor. She liked what she saw because Trevor was a pretty boy. He was very good looking, a physical specimen to look at, but he was not involved with idolizing himself. He was not vain. He was not into the physical beauty that he presented. He was mostly into having fun, reading his magazines, reading whatever he got, reading all the magazines that were left behind by the tourists, and then when he got bored with that, he went people watching, just sitting there watching people. Tasha spotted him from her hotel balcony, and she made a promise to herself that she would get to know him because if they got together, she would have a very pretty baby. That was her plan. Poor little Trevor, he was a virgin boy. He had not had any experience with fast girls like Tasha, and Tasha was fast. She was not only fast, that means she was fastly going into womanhood, and at the rate she was going, she was also using glue, which is a drug, and she was sniffing glue. She got with Trevor and convinced him to hang out with her for a little bit, knowing her goal was for her to have unprotected sex with him because she wanted a pretty baby that she had plans to treat as a doll. She wanted somebody to play with, somebody to divert her attention from the boredom that her life presented to her, actually from her rich parents who didn't have much time to spend with her. So Trevor and her, she invited him to an evening. He got there, he got with her, and that evening he introduced her to his grandmother, who was the apple of his eye. He loved his grandmother. He loved the ground she walked on. And Tasha made friends quite nicely and quite easily with the grandmother, giving the grandmother many gifts, which the grandmother accepted. So Trevor felt quite comfortable going out with her again. She went out with him again, and it was that evening that she decided she was going to introduce Trevor to sniffing glue. She told him, listen, she had a secret that she wanted to expose him to, but he was to just go along with her and play along with her game. So remember, we're in the Spit Out Your Game series, and what I am thinking of is that when she went there, she knew that evening that she wanted to get Trevor to do anything he wanted to with her, as long as she was able to get him to sniff glue, and she was able to also get him to be using this glue that was her secret weapon. So she told Trevor like this, listen, Trevor, I want you to have sex with me, and it's just an experiment. Poor little Trevor had not had any girl offer themselves to him like this before. He liked her, like I told you. She was a very attractive young lady, nicely shaped, well dressed, knew how to take care of her personal physical appearance, and Trevor was just an island boy who was involved with just living and taking care of his grandmother, or grandmother taking care of him, and basically enjoying himself on his summer vacation. So Tasha said to him, listen, we are going to get together. You have to have sex with me without a condom. And then I will pull out my secret weapon, which was her glue sniffing game that she was going to introduce to him. And she told him, if you want to have the experience of the best climax in the world, you will go ahead and have unprotected sex with me without a condom. And when you do, you will realize right before you climax, you must sniff this glue, and it will take you to the highest level of enjoyment called ecstasy, the highest level of feeling complete. And it will happen all at once if you sniff the glue, but you must be having sex when you do that. Trevor went along with her. He's new to the game of girls who are as fast as Tasha, and Tasha knew her game was to get pregnant by not having any protection while she was intimately involved with Trevor. So here goes Trevor. She has the glue. Trevor is waiting to see this high level of final climax that he was going to experience, following Tasha as she guided him through this experience. Well, to put it bluntly, Tasha lied. Yes, she got her sexual encounter with Trevor. Yes, she enjoyed it. And yes, her plan was to be pregnant with Trevor's baby. She thought she would have a beautiful baby, seeing that she was attractive and Trevor was also a pretty boy, and she wanted a baby because she said she needed a new dolly. Now let's talk about some solutions. Do you think Trevor should have laid down with her without a condom? Do you think that Tasha was upfront when she introduced Trevor to sniffing glue? Would you have gone ahead, knowing yourself as a young man, listening to my CD right now, to my presentation story right now, would you have gone ahead with Tasha? She provided the space, she provided the scenery, the background, the space where you could be intimate, and she provided the glue. So you had a new experience, one new experience with having sex without a condom, second new experience by trying to get to the highest level of climaxing by sniffing the glue, and third, you had a young lady who was willing to give herself to you and also provide a drug that would help you to get to the higher level. So what would you have done if you had that kind of proposition? Be honest. No need to be shy. What would you do? So Trevor went ahead. Yes, he did have relations with her. Yes, she planned to be pregnant. Yes, she planned to give him the glue, and he tried it. Would you have tried it? What would you have done? So as we look for solutions in this story, do you think that Tasha lied bold-faced to Trevor when she told him that by sniffing glue at the point of climax that he would reach a highest level of ecstasy that any two bodies could get to? Trevor, not being experienced as she was, he believed her because he liked her. Remember, she already has his grandmother in the palm of her hands by showering the grandmother with lots of gifts. And the grandmother, not knowing that Tasha is a scheming little female, she is up to no good. She actually wanted to be pregnant. So her parents, they're off gallivanting. They have no clue what she's doing. They tell her to find her own entertainment and her own happiness. And that's exactly what she's doing. So now, let's look at another outcome. Would you have slept with Tasha without any protection? That means no condom. If you're a young man, would you have tried the glue? And I want you to really think about this one. Should Tasha get her way and she does become pregnant, would you be willing to take on a job to pay child support for the baby that she's about to have? How will you handle this? Do you think it was a lie that she did? And how could Trevor have gotten wind of what she was up to? Do you think he even thought that he could have met a girl like her, moreover, have her be interested in him, and within 2 days have him and her be sexually active together? Tell me what you think. Let's open some discussion. We have to talk. Let's talk this out. What would you have done? The pins are on the table. Where would you have made your move? Would you have walked away and told her no, or just denied her advances? Do you think Trevor was strong enough for a young lady as experienced as Tasha? What about her parents? Do you think they will be so surprised when she comes up pregnant? Do you think Trevor was the only boy that she had? Or what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you. So let's talk soon.